following program is classified G. It's suitable for all ages.
A very good evening and thank you for joining with us on Business Best. This is a platform where we showcase the best in the business, and we will be introducing to you people who have excelled in their particular field in order to showcase their latest developments in their respective industry. So today on the show we have a business that would basically help you enhance some particular skills, may it be individual or a corporate. So with that said, I would like to introduce Shameena Palli, who is the owner of Reflections. Shameena, before we go into the complicated discussion, I would really want to know, now in your profile you have so many titles dedicated to you. You are the director consultant of BNI, you are a regional mentor at Pick a Book, and also you are a board member of an NGO as well, and so much more. So could you tell our audience why you wanted to become a business coach as well, and give a little introduction to what Reflections, your business, is all about?
Thank you, Shanali. It's a privilege to be here, and thank you for having me here. So a little bit about Reflections. Primarily I focus on coaching, but I also do marketing consultancy for companies and training. Why marketing consultancy? Because that's my forte. I've been in corporate for I think over 15 years, and that's been in brands. And coaching has I have a couple of reasons. I'll discuss this as we go along. In terms of why coaching? In my corporate career, Shanali, one of the things I really enjoyed was empowering people and seeing them achieve their goals, feeling inspired and going in for their targets. That gave me a lot of satisfaction. So that were, I think, the first signs of my passion for empowering people. And these organizations that you talked about, so these are leadership roles that I hold in the communities that I belong to. And even these platforms have actually inspired me to get into coaching, because I realized that I like the whole idea of working with people. And I met my own life coach 3 years ago, and that was a transformation for me. That experience helped me find clarity, helped me find purpose, and also it helped me really discover myself through insights. There's a term called insights, which I use as a technique, and that actually gave me a lot of clarity on what I need to be doing. And also it gave me a great passion towards pursuing coaching. Now, why do I think coaching is important, Shanali? I'd take a little more time to do this. Okay, I am an ardent believer of mental well-being, and I'm passionate about mental well-being. I see coaching as a more progressive, futuristic aspect of mental well-being, and we find it difficult, to find inspiration every day, in our mundane lives. In times like this, we find it difficult to be resilient, and it's a task. Feeling inspired daily is not easy. We are on this journey of progress alone, and it's always good to have someone who can walk that journey with you, someone who can inspire. I use this term, tap your energy, and there's always someone who can hold you accountable for your actions, so we actually can thrive, really. And that is why I really got into coaching, because I feel that a lot of us want clarity, a lot of us want to clearly define our goals and progress, and also we want someone who is impartial. Sometimes we might turn to a friend or a colleague or a relative. While they might be really well-meaning, it might be a biased response. A coach is assessed, they are trained, and they are impartial, and also committed to your well-being and your growth. So those are the reasons, Shanali, that I thought I'll establish Reflections, and I find immense satisfaction really in helping people really discover themselves and grow.
Right, Shameena. So when coming to coaching again, you told that coaches are supposed to show them the way to help them trust you all as well. So what do you think the competitive advantage that reflection has for people to come and trust your organization?
Okay, so see, Shanali, I'll be honest, coaching is not rocket science, okay? If we have the discipline and the resilience on our own to, to go ahead, and if we have mastered that tool of being able to grow on our own, you don't need someone who's going to be holding you accountable for your progress. But yes, there is a requirement for a coach. And I don't mean to, I very humbly say that we are one of the very few organizations that use technology. One is for tracking, and one is for continuous development of our coaching. So I believe strongly in rigorous commitment to your own goal. Okay, the coaches I take, I'm not going to tell them what to do, because they find the answers on their own, and they must be seriously committed to their own transformation. So what I do is I will guide them, and I also have a rigorous monitoring process. So I use technology. There's a system. I can talk to you later in our discussion as to how and what you do. But I really focus on the grit and your tracking and the monitoring and your routine and real commitment to your actions. So we track it through the system, and also there is dedicated, unique, exclusive material, video content that is only for the coaches, and that I would say is the difference. And also, my team of coaches I also facilitate. We also have an understanding of psychology, as well as coaching and counseling. So we are able to assess the coachee and see if they are ready for it. So I would say these things, as well as the experience we bring in the corporate world, that combined with, I think the most important thing is empathy and really being committed to wanting someone to transform into someone great. I think that I would say is my competitive advantage.
Right, Shameena. When talking about continuous development also, you told that you are having a system to monitor this process. What are the results that you, with your experience, what are the results that you came across? Was it successful? Were there cases where it was not successful? Could you able to share your experience on that?
Okay, so again, honestly, Shanali, I think I'm blessed and also privileged, because I say it with a lot of pride and also while a lot of modesty. My coaches have achieved their goals, and I do not want to take credit for it, because again, I keep emphasizing the coachee does the work. Okay, the coach is only your accountability partner or your accountability buddy. The coachee does the work. So if you have your strategy, you have your actions, we discuss on the actions, we discuss on the steps of what you're going to do, and then of course the system will include all of this, and then you monitor your progress. And I'm 50% of my progress. There is a time duration. My coaching is 3 to 6 months. I do not want to keep coaches depending on me, for the rest of their lifetime. The idea is to develop this skill on your own, to do this and to focus on your goals and grow. The idea is to empower them to take this forward. So yes, I have seen amazing transformations. People who didn't think they could achieve certain things, people who have taken their lives to next levels, and people who have found clarity. And again, I say, I think the real success is in the coachee.
Okay, Shameena. Again, coming back to you, as I said before, you have so many on your list right now. So how do you manage this time? Do you find it difficult to handle everything at once?
Okay, so even though it's inconsistent, I am a fan of the 5 a.m. club. So I say start your day early. Okay, that gives you an extra hour or to really get into the groove of things. And I'd like to use 3 words here: organize, deputize, supervise. So I have again, I would say I'm privileged to have a strong support system. I have a small but very passionate and committed team of resources and coordinators. And the really important thing is that we have one goal, and we are committed to, the objectives, and we have the same kind of drive. I think speed is something that you need to master, and I have mastered speed over my years in corporate, and even through certain habits and my routine. So speed is an advantage, but I think delegation and planning, monitoring, and also discussing and doing any course correction where needed is how you manage your time, and that's how it's worked for me. And the people who drive it for me have been, I think, the biggest strength, Shonali. So time has been, time is very relative, to two people.
Of course. So before we go into a break, Shameena, tell me what your focus is on at the moment. Do you give your focus to business coaching or individual coaching or student coaching? Where do you give your focus at the moment?
Great question. Thank you so much. So while I am a coach, Shonali, I also facilitate coaching. So we have a team of coaches from diverse industries and who are also experts in certain areas. So we are able to, from reflections, provide business and life coaching, to dilemma coaching, which is one-off, which sometimes is needed at a time like this, in this prevailing situation, even relationship coaching and career guidance, and specific industry veterans who are in selected industries. I can also facilitate sessions for them with these experts. So this is the spectrum that we cover in the coaching.
Right, Shameena, I would really like to continue this discussion with you, but before that we have to move into a short commercial break. We're in discussion with Shameena Palli, the owner of Reflections. We'll be back soon. Welcome back to Business Best, and we are in discussion with Shameena Palli, who is the owner of Reflections. Shameena, I think you gave a very good introduction to what your role is and what Reflections does as a company. So I want to focus now on the topics that you convey to the people. What are the topics that you coach to people, and why do you think these topics are important to lay across to them?
Thank you, Shonali. So two things. One is effective communications. That includes public speaking and language. That's one area. And the other area is goal setting. And the reasons, let me start with communications. So effective communications or speaking in public, that's all part of your personal brand. Okay, and it's what you say out to the world. Whether we like it or not, we are in a world where your personal brand really matters, and how you say it, what you say it is really important, and it can either uplift or destroy your image. So that is an area I focus on, and of course I am well versed in communications and public speaking. So with my experience, I feel I can add value to these coaches. Secondly, goal setting. Okay, so this is my pet area, and this is somewhere that I really benefited, because we have dreams, Shonali. Okay, and these dreams are just floating in the air. We want to achieve this, we want to achieve that, but really, do we define them? Do we detail our goals? Do we really convert them into goals and go for these dreams? Do we convert them into something tangible and really doable? See, a lot of us, we are alone in our progress, and we want to find something to look forward to, something that will keep our day going, something that's going to make our purpose in life, something that's going to be meaningful. So this is where I think goals in your life matter, and it can be any kind of goal. Okay, it can be a passion that you discover after 20 years, but still pursuing these goals, you need to really define them and make them very, very focused. So that's why I got into this, because I feel anything is achievable. Okay, we have a mind, and I refer to this, we have something called the RAS, the reticular activating system of our mind, and goals are really getting your focus into that. So you filter in the right information that's going to get you to achieve everything that you want. And goal setting and writing down your goals, following through on your goals, real actions, those are some things I think we really need to bring into our lives to make our lives more meaningful and to go to the next level, even to serve people. So those are the areas I focus on, Sheenali.
Okay. According to your experience, where do you think that these topics are lacking? For example, if you take business or students per se, which group would you say requires the most coaching on these subjects, and from where do you receive the demand for your services?
Okay. So I would say it's required at every level. Okay, all of us need coaching in any level. So I would categorize the demand that I get as aspiring leaders. And when I say aspiring leaders, I also coach CEOs, I also coach students. So everyone is aspiring in a certain level, and some people have already achieved a sense of leadership, but they want to go to another level. So these are areas, and some people would be excelling in one area, and in their personal lives they would want to develop on something. So they really need someone who can, who can actually give them that impartial view and walk that journey with them. So if I were to really give you a word for the segment, I would say aspiring leaders.
Right. So where do you see the ambitious intentions coming from? Is it from the youngsters or is it from the older generation?
Very good question. I think generations have ambitions in different levels. So young people are very ambitious, and it's very admirable because they are ambitious and they are also confident. Okay, these are the Gen Zs, and these are the, not even millennials anymore. They are a little older now. But then, there are the baby boomers and there are the others. They have a lot of knowledge. Okay, sometimes do we have? I'm one of these older generations as well. So sometimes do we as easily find the passion? The younger generation can find that ambition very easily, okay, because they have, they're confident. But the older generation, they have a lot of knowledge, they have a lot of talent. And yes, they do have a lot of ambition. And I really don't, on air, I don't want to say that they don't or anything like that. But I think I would say it depends on the individual. Irrespective of the generation that they come from, each one can find that inspiration, that it's just a matter of tapping that. And it's just a matter of finding that tipping point that will, make that turn around for your life.
Okay, Shameena, when you started Reflections, what were some of the challenges that you faced when you initiated this, and what were the measures that you took in order to overcome these?
Okay, yes. For me, the first challenge was I was in a very, very comfortable corporate life, and I had a fixed income, I had a team, and I was going to start from scratch. But the importance here is to have a strong support system. So one thing was I stepped out with the confidence, armed with the confidence and the knowledge, and to some extent the finances, to know that, okay, I have a backup. And secondly, I had networks. So these networks helped me, to find clients. Of course, the transition was my biggest challenge, because, you go from someone who has a title, okay, and we are very much into our titles, and then you go into, literally no title until you establish yourself, and then you in a sense, you need to prove yourself with your new clients. And for me, that was a journey, and it was always a learning process. What I did in these instances, Sheenali, was really consistency, because there are days that you would feel, okay, this might not work, okay, this is not growing as fast as you want. But 1 year, 2 years, irrespective of the time, consistency is what matters. So I kept the consistency, and with time, my credibility was rebuilt in a new audience, and that worked for me, Shanali. So that's how it helped me.
Shameena, how has the COVID pandemic affected your business so far? And I know that this pandemic has affected almost everybody in the whole world. So how has that affected you?
I mean, I really dislike isolation. So I can understand what everyone is feeling, because you feel like you don't know what's happening, you're confused. But it is also a time that you can reflect. Okay, if we can convert this time really, instead of just working from home or surviving from home, to really thrive from home. We don't have time, Shanali, the luxury of time, I would like to say, to plan our lives, to really think what we want to do, to really, find out who we want to become, what is the purpose. Okay, so the first year I was taken by surprise. I was like, okay, now what do I do? Okay, but doors opened, opportunities were created, and that's when I strengthened my coaching and training even more, because there was a platform that was just created. Online platform became the norm, and that was a challenge I faced at the beginning, because coaching, when you're meeting physically, is great connection. But then I had to, unless, and there were times I had to travel abroad to actually be with my coachee. So despite all of that, with the technology and the video conferencing, the strengthening of technology in that aspect, actually I turned it into an opportunity. So now I do hybrid. Wherever it's safe, I will meet them. But I also use video to do my coaching. We do it on Zoom and WhatsApp if they're comfortable. So that gives you the same kind of connection, because it gives you more time, it gives you more comfort, and we adapt. I think the whole thing is about adapting and really, turning around the challenges into an opportunity, and thriving.
Okay, Shameena, we are really strict on time here. Okay. So as my final question, I want to ask you whether you consider this as a burdening to pursue your dream as a female entrepreneur. So basically, is it hard for you to be in this competitive world as a female?
I've been lucky to have a circle of people who have empowered me, men and women both. And yes, it is not always easy, and there are some days you need to, stand your ground. But I find myself a worthy rival in this competitive world to men or women. And honestly, it doesn't really matter if you are a female or a male. What really matters, Shanali, is the substance, your sincerity, to your commitment, and you will thrive irrespective of your gender if you have the right substance and the integrity to deliver successfully. So in that sense, despite the fact that I am a female, I have been able to keep my head afloat in this industry.
That's very inspirational to hear, Shameena. And once again, I want to thank you for joining with us on Business Best, and I wish you all the best with Reflections.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much.
And that was our show today on Business Best. We will be back again next week with a brand new product or service that we would like to showcase with y'all. So don't go anywhere, because the blueprint is up next, where you can get some useful business tips and tools. Until then, I'm Suzanne Shanali. Stay safe and have a good night.